India is a country of 1 billion people with 1,000 problems. Illiteracy, malnutrition, caste system. Instead of fuming about all this and giving empty talks, we thought we should do something for the country. So we went to an orphanage and started teaching during the weekends. Every class used to be planned by my co-founder. We used to meet about half an hour before the class. He used to tell us what to do, and we used to go there and teach. Every class was planned, but there was no long-term vision for the program. So one day we would teach English, one day we would do something with language or general knowledge or physical training. So we would be doing these random things. 3 months into a program, the children had an exam, they had a vacation, they came back, and we went there to restart our classes. The caretaker of the orphanage told us that, please give me a report of what your classes have achieved for the children. So we were stumped. We didn't know where we started. We didn't know what exactly we had done. We didn't know where the children were and how could we possibly give a report. So she was very firm about her expectations. She said, unless you give me a report, you can't start teaching here again. So we had to leave the place, and our very first initiative to do something for the country was a failure. But that's where we learned our most important lesson that guides Bhumi even now. Just because we are volunteering, just because we are giving your time for free, you cannot do something. What you do has to be done properly. Only then it will benefit the people who it's meant for, and it will be respected. So we had to leave the place, and in the few months after that, we registered Bhumi as a non-profit. We used to have long discussions about what all we can do. That's when we understood about the education system better. 85% of the children go to primary school. Only 15% reach high school. 7% go to college, out of which only 1% are considered employable by blue chip companies. Pathetic, right? So we thought we should do something about this. During our interaction with the children, we found that the children were fascinated by the computer. These children knew about the IT revolution, but they had little or no access to a computer. Most of them never touched or used a computer at all in their lives. But they badly wanted to use it and learn it. So we thought, okay, we should do this. One of the conversations between me and my co-founders, we realized that I had an unused monitor and he had an unused CPU, and we could put together a whole computer to teach these children. So we framed a syllabus, and with that computer, we started our computer program. This is how Bhumi works even now. We don't spend money trying to purchase new computers. We get old computers discarded by corporates, we refurbish them and then use them, keeping our costs very low. So the children learn basics of computers and the internet through our computer program. It's very interactive and fun-filled. So what do you think these children can do? I'll show you a PowerPoint presentation done by a kid. He learned Paint and Word to us, and his second class in PowerPoint, this is what he came with. So what do you think about this? This kid is now going to college. He never had access to computers, and he's able to do this within 2 days of starting PowerPoint. I don't know how many of us can manage it. These kids have potential, just that they're not born with the same resources most of us have been blessed with. So we were teaching computers, and we found that most of the children did not know enough English to actually handle the computer very well. So we thought, okay, let's teach them English too. So what started off as a auxiliary program to the computer program is now a full-fledged program. We now educate the children English using a Cambridge University world-class curriculum. All our volunteers are trained by Cambridge accredited trainers so that they can go out and deliver a fun-filled, interactive way of learning English. It's not the same way you and I learned English, sitting in a bench, taking down notes as a teacher wrote noun, verb, pronoun and stuff like that. Very fun-filled. Use flashcards and games to make sure the children understand and enjoy every class so that they come back for every class. Another thing that we understood is, if you go to a government school and catch hold of a 7th or 8th standard kid, an average kid, not the excellent ones, and you ask him what is 3 into 9, he would probably start thinking in his head, 3 into 1, 3, 3 into 2, 6, 3 into 3, 9, and so on, to arrive at the answer. We understood that their fundamentals were very weak, and we need to do something to make them understand what they were learning, instead of the rote learning they were going through. So that's how we started our Little Einsteins program. So we make them understand math and science through activity-based learning, experiments, watching videos. We were very sure from the very beginning we didn't want it to be a tuition. So it took us quite a while to come where we are right now. But right now the children are benefiting from the program. So we were doing all these things, and the children were learning English, computers, science and maths. So you would hope that would be enough for them to get great careers. But there was another stumbling block. If you ask any of these children what they wanted to be in life, you would find the career choices most of the time would be limited to just a few things. Nurse, teacher, software engineer, or the ambitious few would want to become a doctor or a collector. So we started a career counseling program for these children to educate them about the various choices available to them. Our thinking and the program has evolved. Now it's a full-fledged mentorship program for the children, where they have one-to-one mentorship at class 10, and also group learning cycles where they learn to develop their personality, team building and things like that apart from career counseling. So is this all to education? When I was a kid, when I was much younger, my parents sent me to a Mirudangam master to make me learn Mirudangam. They understood that the school I am going to alone was not enough to make me a complete person. So he tried for 5 or 6 years, and finally he gave up. I never learned music. But at least I had someone to think for me that I needed to learn something else. And school book education was just not enough. After a few years of working with children at orphanages, we work with 3 types of children. Children in orphanages, children in slum communities living in cities, and children in the village communities. The children in orphanages, they're slightly worse off than the other 2 groups. Because they live at a place, they go to the school, and they come back there again. There ends their exposure to the external world. And TV is the only outlet most of the time to understand about the external world. So we thought these children don't have anybody to discover the talents they might have. So we should do something to help bring out these talents. So we started Sirakugal in 2009. Sirakugal started off as a one-day talent festival for children, where they could compete with children from other orphanages, discover what talents they have in themselves. We thought that would be enough. Sirakugal has grown, so has Bhumi. In In 2011, Siragal was a 2-day event, the first day being sporting competitions and the second day having art, literary and cultural competitions apart from a science exhibition. So 1,500 children from 43 orphanages got to participate in this 2-day event. We also understood that it would never be possible to bring all the children just into those 2 days. There are just too many children out there. So we also started conducting competitions at the orphanages itself for these children, art and literary competitions. So 1,000 children participated in that. And we've gone beyond. We've understood that it's just not enough to identify and tell the kid, okay, you're good in singing and you won this competition. They also need to be trained and nurtured to bring out their talent. So Siragal is now an annual program too. We're helping identify the talent and also groom the talent. Its pilot phase is going on in Chennai. So some images from the competition. What have our volunteers taught? So we have people to give us gifts during for our birthdays. Some of you might get Valentine's Day gift tomorrow and for festive season. So who do these children have to give them a simple joy of receiving a gift? So that's how Joy to the World was born. In 2008, we collected about 200 wish cards from the children. The children had to fill one thing they wanted, and Bhumi volunteers would distribute it at companies, and the donors would purchase the gift, and we would go with the donors and distribute these gifts. So you would think, what would any of you, given a choice, ask for? Bike, computer, Nintendo, Sony, PS3, 2, whatever is there. But the kind of gifts these children asked, first year it was so humbling. One kid asked for a pair of shoes, so the donor got him the pair of shoes, and we distributed the gift, and he came up to us and asked, "Anna, shoe irukku, socks illiye." And this year, a kid at Kanchipuram asked for an apple. We got her a dozen apples, drawing set, dictionary. The gifts are so simple, their needs are so simple. It kind of puts us to shame the kinds of things and expectations we have in life. So this year, from 180 gifts in 2008, we've distributed 2,700 gifts across Chennai, Bangalore. So 2006, that's where we started, and that's where we were asked to lead one center. 2007, we reached out to 3 centers. By 2008, the caretaker of the orphanage who asked us to leave understood we were serious about what we were doing, and we were accepted back into the same place where we were asked to leave. And 10 other centers. The next year, we were at about 30, 58, and last year, we were at 77 centers in Chennai, Trichy, and Bangalore. We've just started operations at New Delhi, Pune, Coimbatore. That's how the Bhumi story is going. So what sets Bhumi apart? How are we different from the thousands of NGOs out there? How are we different from the hundreds of youth organizations out there? So these are things that we think differentiate us. Bhumi is run entirely by youth volunteers. People like you. All volunteers are under the age of 30. We just ask for 2 hours of their time in the weekends. Each of our projects has a structured syllabus. and the volunteers receive professional training to deliver the syllabus. Just because you want to teach, you cannot go out there and do something. And you would be repeating the same mistake we did in 2006. And high quality teachers deliver the content. What you can deliver with the syllabus, I'm sure would be several times higher than what most children have to endure at government schools every day. And all this is done at a fraction of the cost of the current education system. And in the process, we're also nurturing leaders. So how are we doing that? Bhumi being entirely youth volunteer run, every aspect of the organization is taking care of volunteers. HR, fundraising, syllabus and training, research and development, corporate relations, everything is done by volunteers. Every aspect of Bhumi is a learning experience. So we are hoping, and volunteering is not some boring thing. Most of you would associate NGOs with boring activity. Volunteering in Bhumi is not like that. Every now and then we have fun events for our volunteers to have a nice time and make good friends. So why should you and I do it? Why is a Bhumi a youth volunteer organization? That is the population breakup of India. While 43% of the Indian population is over the age of 30, the rest 30% is equally divided between 0 to 15 and 15 to 30. While 0 to 15 is the age group we are working for, 15 to 30 is us. While we are improving the 0 to 15 group, we are also making the 15 to 30 socially conscious and leaders in society, in your workplace. That's how Bhumi is helping invent a better future. So what started off with a handful of volunteers in 2006, believe it or not, we've been able to reach 5,000 children through more than 500 volunteers across the country. This is how every Bhumian is inventing a better future for this nation. So what can each one of you do? That's why we've launched iCube. iCube is a national social entrepreneurship competition for youngsters. If you have an idea that could potentially benefit hundreds or thousands of people, you submit the idea, and if your idea gets to win, we would not only fund you up to rupees 1 lakh, we would also support you with the organization and the volunteers to get your idea from just a thought to reality. So if you are interested, log into icube.in today to submit your life-changing, society-changing ideas. A small thought in me to do something for our country has now blossomed into one of India's largest youth movements. Each one of us has the potential to invent a better future. You just have to have that one thought. Thank you.